Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and for the second video of today we are going to be talking about Peter Capaldi refusing to return to Doctor Who. Now this isn't the first time that he's actually said this. He said in multiple interviews that he doesn't really have any interest in going back to the role. I think the earliest time he said this was shortly after he'd left, and then when it came to the 60th anniversary time where people were wondering, okay, which Doctors are going to return to the show, Matt Smith was like, yeah, I'd come back, but I'm not coming back for the 60th because I haven't been asked. Christopher Eccleston, well, Christopher Eccleston's Christopher Eccleston. Unfortunately, the classic Doctors weren't really asked to return, except for the Tales of the TARDIS stuff, which was great, it was fantastic, woohoo. But when it came down to Peter Capaldi, yeah, his stance was very interesting, and I think we need to have a look at what he means by this, because yeah, it's kind of a shame, really, that we won't see any more of the 12th Doctor, but he does make a few valid points. So with all this being said, let's get into the video. Let's talk about Peter Capaldi's future in the Whoniverse, and will we ever see the 12th Doctor again? Well, apparently not, but let's get into the video. Okay, so coming from Screen Rant, Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who return stance makes him the new Tom Baker and Christopher Eccleston, so that's a very interesting statement. So, Peter Capaldi's stance on a possible Doctor Who return places him in the same boat as Tom Baker and Christopher Eccleston. Peter Capaldi joined a long line of actors who played Doctor Who as he appeared in the British sci-fi show from 2014 to 2017 as the 12th Doctor. So, as of 2024, the Doctor is played by Ncuti Gatwa, and he has been going through three regenerations since. So yeah, the 15th Doctor made their first appearance in Season 1, or Series 14, and considering most actors can only dream to play the famous character, according to this, it's surprising that Peter Capaldi has stated that he doesn't want to return to the show. So Doctor Who is confirmed for the next series to be in May, under its new network, Disney+, but obviously, yeah, the BBC will still have involvement. And Peter Capaldi was the oldest version of the Doctor since Classic Who. Capaldi has also appeared in Doctor Who before being cast as the 12th Doctor, so he had two separate roles in The Fire of Pompeii and Torchwood, respectively. So, as a fan of the show, which has brought the actor lots of visibility, it is therefore surprising that Capaldi doesn't want to return. And as Screen Rant said, they're not the only. He's not the only actor that has said this. So, whilst David Tennant and Catherine Tate and a few other actors have returned to the show since they originally left. Famously, Tom Baker, who played the 4th Doctor in classic Doctor Who, and Christopher Eccleston have stated their reluctance to return to Doctor Who for various reasons, apparently. So, Tom Baker played the 4th Doctor for 7 consecutive seasons, which still remains the longest period of time for any actor who has played the Time Lord, including those in both the classic and new series. So yeah, as a result, Tom Baker is one of the most fan favourite incarnations going, but his absence was felt during the 5 Doctors. And the 9th Doctor, played by Eccleston, is famous for being the first Doctor in the show's reboot, but yeah, he had a different opinion as well in terms of returning. So, Peter Capaldi has reasons for not returning to Doctor Who, and they are very different to Tom Baker's and Christopher Eccleston. So, Baker and Eccleston both left the show following disagreements with the producers. Baker clashed with the new producer, John Nathan Turner, and also had health problems, whereas Eccleston quit Doctor Who due to dissatisfaction with treatment of himself and fellow actors during production. However, Capaldi departed Doctor Who with no complaints against the show, but instead said to Hello that his reluctance to return was due to worries it would not be the same. So his full statement is, I'm still a fan of Doctor Who. It's not that I have anything against it, but there comes a time where you have to leave things alone. I can't imagine a situation in which I'd be able to go back into it with enough influence over how it was going to be. He also stated that we had a great time, so unless we can have that good of a time, I wouldn't want to do it. So his reasons for not wanting to return to Doctor Who propose a problem in which Doctor Who fans would want to see Capaldi again. But with Stephen Moffat's return to the show, and he previously said that he'd never returned to writing, Could this also happen? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, there's a follow-up section here saying why Peter Capaldi is still more likely to return to Doctor Who than Christopher Eccleston. Now, yeah, Eccleston and Tom Baker did both clash with the producers massively, and the 12th Doctor, played by Peter Capaldi, still stands a higher chance than these two returning because he had more of a neutral departure. So despite all of this, he is still the most likely candidate out of these three to return, but I don't think Peter Capaldi would return. Personally, I think after reading this, the way I've interpreted it, and I think many other people will, is that Peter Capaldi, he's just ready to move on. He's ready to move on from the role. You know, he did his part in Doctor Who, and he did it fantastically. He had a good time, and he's ready to move on with his career. You know, it opened up more areas for him to improve as an actor. You know, he was already a really good actor anyway. He was already an established actor, and Doctor Who just helped him more. But he just sees it simply as that, would it really benefit the show if he returned? And he does kind of raise a point, because multi-Doctor stories sometimes, especially in other forms of media, they can feel a little bit cheap. So the fact that he's making those comments suggests that, yeah, he probably won't return unless there's a good story there and it's valid enough for him to return. Like, there's a good enough explanation for him to return. And I feel like, to be honest, as long as Russell is in charge, I don't think we're going to get any more of your traditional multi-Doctor stories, which is a shame, because I do feel like they are a bit of a staple of the show. But I feel like after Day of the Doctor and all the other anniversary specials, how can you do another event where it's justified for other Doctors to return? But that's just my opinion anyway. But with all this being said, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new around here, please click that like button and subscribe for more nerdy content, as I really want to reach 7,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for all the support. Take care, love you all, and peace.